Ahoy there! Welcome to Los Anchorage Pandemic Edition version 2. It's about the end of August. We flew out yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful flight, beautiful weather. Hopefully this weather holds. We're going to try to take the camper out today. No, scratch that. We're not going to take it out today. We're going to make sure it's ready to go today. And then tomorrow we're going to try to meet up with some friends of ours, Russ and Mona, who also have a Wanderlodge. Have ourselves a little Wanderlodge convention and see if we can get on the road. So we finally made it out to the camper after all our appointments in Los Anchorage. And first thing we're going to do, I was doing a walk around. The tires all look fine. But here's the thing, when it comes to the safety of when you're driving 14 tons down the road, you want those tires working properly. First tire I checked was perfect, 115 psi. Second tire I checked was also perfect at 115 psi. However, heard a leak. Turns out the valve core is leaking. So I'm going to address that today. Okay, to address the valve core, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some dry lube. And you can't hear it. I can hear just a little bit of a leak. So what happened was the cap was holding it so that it wouldn't leak. And as soon as I took the cap off, I heard the sound. So it's one of these deals where it would probably be just fine until it's not. So I'm going to pull out that valve core and take a look at it. That's why I've got the dry lube. So I also touched it to confirm after I heard it. Another little tech tip here, every time you get a can of things like dry lube, if you look on here, you'll always see a little bit of a spray paint dot. You'll see a paint dot somewhere. See that dot? That's there for a reason. What you want to do is you always want to turn the nozzle so that it faces that dot. And the reason for that is the direction that the hose is inside the can, so that you're able to get the maximum amount of stuff out of the can. So I'm going to use a valve core tool. I like to make sure we always have these. This is just a valve stem cap that also has a valve core tool on it. I like to have at least two of those, so that it's the same thing you do with like a bicycle or anything else. So I can pull that valve core out and take a look at it. Now, once I take the valve core out, I'm going to have 115 psi going this way. So I'm going to try to throw the cap back on so I can show you what I'm doing with the valve stem once I do it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that valve stem out, and I'm going to keep this one where I can reach it. So you might notice things got a little bit louder before I pulled that stem out. That's because when I started pulling this out, it didn't feel very happy. So what I did was I went ahead and I put the jacks down so that now we don't have the weight of the bus on the tire. If something goes horribly wrong, at least I don't have to worry about it slamming all the way to the ground that way. Okay, so got the valve core out. It's just a standard valve core. I thought it might be a long one, but apparently it's not. This is a short one. Now I can see already the top of the valve core is bent, which is less than ideal. Unfortunately, I don't have a spare valve core. So what I'm going to do, there's a little O-ring right down in here. Yeah, see how that's not, this whole thing's bent. I don't know how, but it's bent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot some dry lube onto that O-ring and try to get this to seat better. So at least for now we have a viable valve core. Okay. All right, now let's see if I can shove this puppy back in.
Morgan, stay back.
I can tell you it's going in a lot more smoothly than it came out. So we're gonna have to put air in to make up for whatever I just lost. Now I wouldn't call that repaired. I would just call that fixed for now. But you're on the side of the road and something goes haywire. That's why a valve core tool like this is key. Got to have it on anything you got that's got tires. Now we know this is probably going to need air. Yep, we're down to 100. We only lost 15 pounds. So if you have a bus like ours, you know, a real bus, you've got a couple air options. So as you can see here, we've got a pancake compressor, but we're not using that. And one of the onboard compressors, we're not using that either. We just hooked up the air line. We lost 15 psi. Now something to put on my spare parts list, because I noticed I don't have any, is going to be a couple of spare valve steps. They're cheap, and they're worth their weight in gold. So we've obviously got a truck-style tool to fill it.
Air chuck?
Yep, air chuck. Sorry, I couldn't remember. That's really all there is to it. Now we just keep going until we get to 115 psi.
Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Next week's video, we're going to take you along to Byers Lake.